You saw that thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're about to do. Welcome back, everybody. This is Dear Woke Christian. I'm looking forward to having like a kind of like a recap, if you will, of this whole soap opera, this living soap opera, which we now call the Fannie Willis saga. Because it's amazing. It does not quit. It does not quit at all. And I really want to. I'm just having a blast. I'm having a blast listening to, finding new information about it. I think primarily because it's here in Atlanta. So let me, full disclosure, I'm here in Atlanta. And it's just a wild story, man. It's wild to see it unpack. It's wild to know that I know some of those places and so on and so forth, especially when they talk about Cobb County. Like I live, my studio is right around the corner from some of the places that they're referring to. And it's just wild. But even more than that, scriptures are so true. Like the scriptures are so true that if man, simple things that Nathan Wade did caused and dare I say exacerbated this problem way past where it could have been, where it should have been. It didn't have to get this bad, anything like that. And it's just an ongoing saga. So anyway, I just thought it would be fun again to kind of recap, if you will. There are some things that have come up. If you're not following it, you have other better things to do than just following this case. There's some things that have come up that I was like, hey, let's talk about this tonight. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I see Shara in the house. Always good to see you, Sister Grace and Peace. There she is. What's going on, Q? Thank you so much for stopping by. And we just wanted to have a little quick conversation. It can be as long as we're going to have it tonight because I'm going to ask. I really want to know what you all think about this. So I got a couple of videos. I want to kind of, there's a real high summary. So if you haven't been keeping up with it, I found a fantastic summary from an excellent YouTuber who broke it down very plain. Then I have a video that's kind of explaining why the judge may very well not kick Fannie Wade off. But then he also explains why the judge may kick Fannie Wade off. It's really interesting. And he wasn't double-minded at all. It's more like he's just giving two really good reasons for both perspectives. And I thought it was excellent. Then, of course, there's I did a video this week from reviewing the lawyer for Jocelyn Wade, the divorce attorney for Jocelyn Wade. And I actually found the summary because somebody asked me her name and I didn't have her name on there. So I found the article that it came from. And I was going to go over that with you all. Just give you again, a little high view of what's been happening on this story and just kind of hear your perspectives. I really want you all, this is going to be a real interactive video on this evening because I want to hear what y'all think about it. Like, where are you all in this story so far? I mean, you might not be invested at all. You might be like deep in it, whatever. You might be like,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Or you might be like, yo, bring more, bring more. I don't know, but I just want to hear where you all are with it. And so that's where we're going to be. So be ready to answer some questions. So I got questions here for you tonight. Good to see you, Stevie. All right, man. Grace and peace, brother. Always good to see you, Nick Farrow. Good to see y'all. All right, so let us bring the first one in, which is this review of the overall case from Nate the Lawyer. And shout out to Nate the Lawyer, fantastic YouTube content creator. And I really like him and I find value in what he does because it's extremely easy to comprehend and understand. So let's get started. And I'm going to try to not comment a whole lot, but let's go.
Produced us?
Yes.
This summary, is this something we prepared?
No, it's a summary.
Okay. And so you discovered that and verified its accuracy through these credit card receipts, et cetera?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Do either of them deny these trips occurred?
No, not at all.
And so is this the impropriety, the financial impropriety of getting financial benefit from the job that he's paying for her way on these trips with money?
Yes.
That she's paying him and approving?
This is what I would call undisputed. You know, some of the other stuff on his credit cards, it looks like there's trips to Charlotte and Florida and other things like that. But this is what we could undisputed say was with Miss Willis.
All right, here comes Nate. Let's go.
Okay, so we're back with some more receipts from the Fannie Willis Nathan Wade debacle. I want to let everybody know what we're talking about here. Fannie Willis is under a motion to disqualify her in Georgia, presented by attorney Ashley Merchant, who's representing one of the defendants in the Trump case. That's all you really need to know. But anyway, at the beginning, Fannie Willis said that, all these allegations about her having a sexual relationship with one of her special prosecutors was a lie, it was wrong, and it was essentially racism. Then some receipts got dropped. Those receipts were in the form of credit card receipts showing that the special prosecutor was paying for her to go on all these trips and stuff. Remember, at first they kind of denied it. So then they said there was a relationship. So now we get to see what receipts were actually available, where'd they go, how much money was actually spent, that type of thing. Because during the hearing, they talked about the trips, but they really didn't go into granular detail about what was happening. So now we actually get to see the text messages about how she found out and the receipts. So let's see how much money we're talking about. Now, it's important to understand, in the state of Georgia.
Okay, before we go too far, all right, here we go. First interactive question. How much in the state of Georgia can you give somebody without it being them having to report? Comment down in the chat. How much can you give a coworker or a subordinate without them having to acknowledge it as a gift? How much is it? What's the threshold, the floor that you can only accept this amount of money? Anybody go ahead and drop it in the chat if you know. Good to see you, Jarena. Good to see you. Grace and peace, sister. Grace and peace. Anybody know? Monique's Beauty. Good to see you, sister. Grace and peace to you as well. Okay, so far I got $100. $100 right here. 101, 101, $100, $101. You must report over $100. $100. Whoa, 500. Hey, yo, you can send me 500. You can send me 499. 99. I will not report that. Absolutely. $100. $100. Mary Alexander says $100. Susie says $100. Next Pharaoh says $100. For federal contractors, it's $10. Wow. Hey, I'll tell you this as a former classroom teacher, it was $50 for teachers. You can only accept gifts of less than $50 from one parent. So when you teach at a private school, the smart thing to do is the parents will spread it out between all of the parents. And, teachers would do pretty well sometimes for Christmas and birthdays. Yeah, they were pretty good. All right, $100. All right, $100. All right. Next fair, I think at my job is 50. Wow. Okay. All right. When I worked for the state, we weren't allowed to accept anything. I mean, here we go. All right. So let's finish up with Nate. Let's bring him back in. Nate, how much is it?
Especially in Fulton County. If you get gifts over $100 as a public official, you have to report it. None of this stuff was reported. So remember, that's only $100, and it's not $100 on one occurrence. It's in aggregate. So let's say we go out to dinner. I pay for dinner today, $50. Then 2 days later, we go out for dinner again, and it's $100. That's $150 in total. I didn't have to report both those dinners. That's the way it works in Georgia. And Fannie Willis reported none of this. So let's look at the hearing.
All right. So that's the big brouhaha. Like, there was money shared. Like, I mean, it's pretty wild. But let's continue because there's going to be some more fun stuff.
And see what happens.
Okay, so that's where basically Miss Willis and Mr. Wade would meet for their relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Mr. Bradley told me at that first meeting that they would meet at hotels. He told me about a lot of travel. I mean, he detailed, he detailed a lot of stuff. He said that they traveled to Texas, they traveled to Florida. A lot of different travel. He said Belize. He specifically said Belize, a cruise, the Bahamas, things like that.
And you were later.
Now, just so everybody understands too, Terrence Bradley is Nathan Wade's divorce attorney who is representing him in the divorce, who says he got this information from his client, Nathan Wade. And he's telling this attorney, Ashley Merchant, all this stuff. So that's who Terrence Bradley is. Terrence Bradley is the person who told Ashley Merchant about all this information and allowed her to start digging.
Able to verify.
Okay, so, and Nate's going to say something about Terrence Bradley's participation in this that had me thinking. I had never heard of that or thought of it. And I think he's fair. So, do you think Terrence Bradley is a hero in this story, or do you think he's a villain? What do you think? Is Terrence Bradley a hero in this story? Because keep in mind, if Terrence Bradley had not shared anything with Ashley Merchant, we would probably not be here. If Terrence Bradley had not done that. But how did Terrence Bradley get the information? So was he a hero, or is he a villain, or is he anti-hero? I mean, you can even add anti-hero to it. But was he a hero or a villain? Because I did notice during the hearing where Ashley Merchant is speaking to the Georgia Senate, they don't really talk much about Terrence Bradley in regards to his participation, but rather that the information came from him. So it wasn't like he was painted as a good guy or as a bad guy. They just said, I got this information from Terrence Bradley. And he told me this, he told me that. I confirmed with him this. But he's not really made, he's not venerated, and he's not damned. So what do you think? I got a sacred puppet. Wow. That's a different one. A scarred puppet. Okay, a scarred puppet. I've never heard that one before, Mary. That one's good. I like that one. What do you think? Is Terrence a villain? Is he a hero? Is he a scared puppet? A scarred puppet? Neither. Okay, neither. All right, I got you. There's nothing wrong with that either. He's in trouble. And that's why, personally, Cindy, I'm sorry, you're in my mind. I think that's why they didn't talk about him, because he is in trouble. And I don't think if they said good things about him, it would make it sound like they were supporting his actions. And if they said bad things about him, it's like they're slamming on him to get him in worse trouble. That's why I don't think the Georgia Senate said anything about him. But I'm just wondering, what do you all think? I think neither. I think he was frustrated over the treatment of Wade's wife. Seemed like he was her friend too. Okay, I like that. He's afraid. Okay, afraid. Okay. Oh, you try to say afraid puppet? Oh, okay, I like it either way. All right. Let's see. And Susie says this. I think Ashley Merchant is the only actor who's above board on this. Willis, Wade, Bradley are all in the wrong. Okay, no, I agree. There's actually no argument from me whatsoever. He's a teddy bear that witnessed the murder. You know what? I kind of want to like him. I mean, I'm kind of with you there. So I got you. All right, let's finish up with Nate. Let's get back to it. Thank you so much, Nate, for this. I did not bring back.
I subpoenaed credit card records, and then I actually subpoenaed the travel agencies that Mr. Wade used for some of those trips. He used two of the cruises that they took. He used a travel agency. So there was a cruise to the Bahamas. I got through a travel agency. There was a trip to Aruba that I got through the travel agency, and then there was another cruise. I think that one's to the Bahamas also, that I got through a different travel agency. And then his credit cards are the ones that showed all the Belize trips.
And they showed that he was buying the tickets for both himself and Miss Willis.
Oh yes, the credit card statements. So because I guess he used a travel agency, his credit card statements actually had her name and seat number and all that on it.
Okay.
So I mean, there was no.
So yeah, that's pretty much the ball game, right? Here's her name, I see that, and he paid for him. Now that's a big issue, because don't forget, if Wade is paying for this stuff, that essentially is a kickback to Fannie Willis. See, the argument here from the defense is Fannie Willis hires her boyfriend to become special counsel. She says, hey, I'm going to pay you all this money and you prosecute these guys. Now, he starts prosecuting them, and for the job, he gives her a kickback of that money. Now, it's not in the form of cash, but in form of these elaborate gifts. Gifts, let's go to Belize, let's go to this, let's go to this. Because don't forget, all benefits don't have to just be in cash. They could be in these vacations. So that's the argument for the defense counsel, is that Fannie Willis is essentially getting a legal kickback in the form of elaborate gifts. And a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's because, obviously, she's being hooked up by her boyfriend. She hooked him up, now he's hooking her up.
We're disputing.
And clear it was paid for by him on his credit cards?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Is this the document you gave us from the Capital One there?
It is, yes. And there you can see, so Clara Bowman is Mr. Wade's mom. So this was the cruise that happened October 31st, around that date. Mr. Wade paid for Miss Willis, Mr. Wade, and then his mother's plane tickets, and then also their cruise receipt. I think that one.
She got his whole credit card. Yo, number one, I might not be using Capital One again, because if they're just giving my information to any subpoena, I want somebody to fight that subpoena like tooth and nail. I've been a DA. There are companies that fight. I know Chase fights. I know Time Warner. Well, I'll show you how long ago, but Time Warner we used to fight. Like, there's some companies that fight tooth and nail. Apple's one of those companies. So Capital One, you might have lost any. I will not be a customer.
Okay, real quick, because I didn't know this, and I didn't think, all right, I thought, and maybe I misunderstood, I thought Ashley Merchant got those bank statements from Jocelyn Wade. I didn't hear, maybe I was falling asleep or something, I don't know, but I didn't hear her say that they got them from the bank. But maybe they did. I mean, maybe they did. I guess it depends on what you want. Like, if you are the one that the crime is being committed against, I guess you want your bank to give that information quickly to the people that can make it right. But on the same note, if you're somebody that's done something wrong, you don't want the bank to give you information. I just thought that was interesting. Nate goes on a couple little tirades here, and they're pretty funny. All right.
My Capital One. They sent this stuff out.
That one was Royal Caribbean.
Shout out to Royal Caribbean.
So your summary here showing the trips, we know that in late October they took a cruise to the Bahamas, and this is from his financial records. He paid for this for both tickets.
Yes, this is from his financial records, and then
All right, so this is from his financial records. So you got this trip in October, Royal Caribbean is the cruise, $3,300. You have this one to Aruba, $4,400. This one, December 3rd. So look, every month, October, November, December. Matter of fact, this is almost back to back, right? October 31st, they go to the Bahamas, then they go to Aruba. So I think this kind of, you can count this all as one trip. And then you have December 30th, you're going to the Bahamas again. That's the next month. Then the next year, they go to Belize, and then they go to Napa Valley. So they were having a nice little relationship. What is this? 3, 7, 10, 12,
I'm trying to find
14,
out when they're working.
plus all this change. You're talking about maybe $15,000, $16,000, right? 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus another 4. And all this, I'll say maybe 5. So maybe $15,000, $16,000. Wow. So is that 15? We told, and this is, I'm assuming this is just the trips. So $15,000 we know in benefits she got. Now, if you're making $150,000 a year, that's 10% of your salary.
and I tried to be
But most people are not making $150,000 a year. But even more than that, what are your thoughts? I mean, is that too much? Is that enough to cause some kind of consternation in you? Would you be upset knowing that your boss, had this story was playing out in your own office or in your business or your church even, goodness gracious, where this kind of stuff was happening? Where would you be with that? I mean, Pauline says, yeah, up to $100. That's well over $100. I mean, it's 150 times over $100. I mean, to me, it seems pretty straightforward. They violated that principle. Now, I don't think violating that principle means that you get fired, but you should have some kind of consequences because of that, because you did in fact violate that principle. And it's not just like you got gifts from, your second grade class, but you got trips and such like that from somebody that you hired that's being paid by the taxpayers an exorbitant amount. Mind you, keep in mind, Nathan Wade made twice as much as Fannie Willis made. Like, that's pretty interesting. Like, he made quite a bit more than her even. I want to say it's almost 2.5 times as much. So it's not just a small little incident like, oh, I had a $150 meal. No, we're talking about you went on a whole cruise. A whole cruise, man. Yo, can y'all like this video if you do, in fact, find value in what I'm doing? Please hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit the like button 3 times.
there were a lot of Ubers and things like that. I did not include things like that, that I wasn't positive. I wanted to be under-inclusive, not over-inclusive.
Right. And then you show the trip to Aruba, another one to Bahamas, one to Belize, one to Napa Valley, California.
Yes.
These are all from October 22 up till May of 23.
Yes.
Okay. This is a document you produced us?
Yes.
This summary, is this something we prepared?
No, it's a summary.
Okay. And so you discovered that and verified its accuracy through these credit card
Remember, this is
receipts,
undisputed.
et cetera.
Yes.
What you said.
Yes.
Do either of them deny these trips occurred?
No, not at all.
So is this the impropriety, the financial impropriety of getting financial benefit from the job that he's paying for her way on these trips with money
Yes.
that she's paying him and approving?
This is what I would call undisputed. Some of the other stuff on his credit cards, it looks like there's trips to Charlotte and Florida and other things like that. But this is what we could undisputed say was with Miss Willis.
So there may be even more. This is the light version of it.
Yeah, and I agree with Nate. Like, yo, that is very possible because Fannie talked about them going up to Chattanooga and traveling to Florida. So those are just car trips. So they're going to Buc-ee's, spending $50 at Buc-ee's and whatever like that. So yeah, these people are reckless. And the thing is, she was talking about how private they were. I'm like, y'all were doing the most to be private. Y'all were some high flyers, literally, to be private. But let's go.
Wow. That's a lot.
So back to
15 grand's a lot.
You're a good investigative reporter here. So you have heard these rumors, and now Mr. Bradley, just by almost happenstance, you're with him in court.
Yes.
And he spills the beans on it and verifies
up.
it. Then you go get the documents to prove it's accurate.
Yes.
And you identify year to get him to say, yeah, that's the woman whose condominium they would go to?
Yes.
Okay.
And I developed it. You joke about my investigative skills. I've done public defense most of my career. At some point or another, or pro bono. It's hard to get money for investigators, so I've learned how to do a lot of it on my own.
But I do want to say one thing. This is really Bradley. Like, she went and got stuff through open records requests, which generally you would do as an investigator. But it's so much easier when you have somebody telling you exactly where to go. Oh, look for this person. Look for her girlfriend, Robin. She worked in the office. And you go, okay, was there any Robin? Like, Terrence Bradley literally is feeding her the information, telling her where to go, and she's just going up, oh, here it is. Here's exactly what he said. So I think the person who's questioning her was really underplaying Terrence Bradley's involvement.
And, I dig a lot on things.
I agree that I think that the Georgia Senate really didn't give Terrence Bradley his shine, which I think, as I asked you before, like, was he a villain or was he a hero? I don't think they wanted to dunk on Terrence because Terrence is in trouble. No, I think everybody agrees to that point. So I think if the Georgia Senate had really gone after Terrence and really excoriated him, it would have only made it look bad later on. Or on the flip side, if they just exalted him and said he's a wonderful person, great man, I think it would have influenced later on as well. So that's why I think, but I agree that they don't really talk much about him. But in my mind, I thought the reason they weren't is because in their mind, he might be a criminal. He's going to be disbarred. So why be on record saying good things about somebody who's literally going to be probably disbarred in a month, if not sooner? If that's how it works, I don't know.
Records Act, so I was able to do that and get a lot of information. But what I did was I compiled all of the information Mr. Bradley gave me, and then I did various open records requests based on it. And then, once I would get something, I would reach out to him to verify, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't tracking anything that was wrong. I didn't want to make any allegations that didn't have support. So I would regularly verify with him. And I'd see him in court. We talked on the phone several times. I wasn't the only person that he told about this. There was another attorney on the case, Manny Aurora, who his client ultimately pled out, so he didn't continue this investigation, but he was involved in the investigation early on. And Mr. Bradley told him some of the same things that he told me. So, I was able to independently verify a lot of things, which to me, investigating is important.
She said Bradley told other people. Now, that would have been important, though, because why wouldn't this guy want to come testify, right? Like, Bradley didn't just tell me this. He told this, that you had that guy up. And, not for the truth of the matter, but to impeach Bradley. Bradley's been telling people this. So I'm surprised he didn't have that guy at the hearing. But, now we know. It seems like Bradley was telling everybody this.
Important, that the East Point location, that it was in Hateville. Robin Yeardy actually did quit. Mr. Bradley had told me about...
Was she forced to quit, or how'd that come about?
No, I don't believe she was forced to quit. That was a point of contention in our hearing. She said she left, that she was sent to another division. It's my understanding she had she was outspoken about she didn't like some of the things that was happening in that office, and when she voiced that, she was sent to a different department to work, and it wasn't something that she wanted to do because she did the communications, and so she quit after that.
I have no idea what all those emblems were on that video. I have no idea.
So we got a lot of cash. We got 11 grand, right? That's like 11. No, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? 11, 15, 13, 15 grand that we're talking about. That's a lot. That's a lot, people. That's a lot. So now she's kind of laid it out. This is kind of how we figured out. This is what happened. This is how much money we're talking about. And, obviously them lying about it. So now I want to go to the Democrat, because now, there's Republicans on this committee, but there's also Democrats. So here is the Democrat on the committee, and he's going to try to discredit the receipts, the vacation receipts. So
all right. So here we go. Most of you probably already saw this gentleman because it was all over the place this week. What were your thoughts about Senator Jones? I forgot his first name, but Jones, that was pushing back against Ashley and challenging her, asking more questions, going down some rabbit holes, rabbit trails, and such like that. What were your thoughts on him? Yeah, 15K is a long way from 100. I mean, really, that's multiple folds more. Terrence Bradley is a genius behind Ashley. He may not be in trouble if he was blackmailed. Okay, okay. Well, I think he violated attorney-client privilege, or possibly violated. That's why I think blackmail might not work, but I could be wrong. I'm totally a newbie at this. Trust me. Neither a hero nor a villain. He was trying to cover his behind. Okay, I can get with that. I can totally agree with that. I saw another good comment. 4 vacations in 8 months. People don't get to go on one vacation in 4 years. Amen. There might be some embezzlement there. There's very possible. It's extremely possible. I don't disagree with you at all. All right. Cindy said this guy's going to discredit himself. I mean, really. Senator Jones, supposedly a Catholic, and he's standing up for an adulterer. I mean, yeah. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's got to say. Let's see.
Let's see what he's got to say.
On the trips, how much total were the trips?
About $20,000.
And I think it was about 17,059. But even if we say 20,000, what was the average cost of each one of those trips?
So 17,000, like 59, almost 20 grand. So I was even wrong with between 15, 60, 17,000. So we now have a number. 17 grand is what DA will say. And that's the bare minimum amount. That doesn't count Ubers, hotels, none of that stuff.
That's what
none of that stuff. That's it.
Well,
Unfortunately, they did not provide all of the records, so I can't tell you exactly. All I can tell you is what Mr. Wade charged on his credit cards. I
that's
can't
what
tell
he
you most
charged
of
on
it was
his
paid in
credit
cash, so there's no record. So I wish I could tell you, but
going by your slide, one was 3,335, one was 4,453.
which one? Hold on, I want to make sure I'm clear on each.
You had 6 trips.
Okay, but which trip are you talking? Well, you said one is 3,000 something. I want to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah, put it back up for me, please.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
So the first one,
Slide
Royal
of the
Caribbean,
trips.
3,335,
Here it is.
Aruba, 4,453.
6 trips.
And then we see the next one, and then the next 2.
Okay, so those are the trips.
How would that compare? I mean, what is that so unusual on price points as far as trips are concerned?
No, I mean, I don't think so. The Royal Caribbean, so I can tell you because I know these records really well. I mean, Royal Caribbean, I specifically kept out the money that he spent on his mom's cabinet. So
Well, hold on. So because I spend what the average American spends on trips, she went on like 6 trips in like a 3-month period.
I mean, Senator Jones completely tanked any possibility of being seen as unbiased or being fair. He literally said, "Oh, it's not that much money. She shouldn't be doing it at all." If it was $3,200, you do realize that's 100 times over. I'm sorry, 300 times over what she's allowed to receive as a gift, sir. Why are we having a discussion about this? Should be 30. Math is hard. But let's continue.
Let me go. I'm just going to go back to the chart again. I want to go back to that chart. So here's the chart again on the trips. Now, if we look at the trips, number one, like the first 2, the October 28 one, 2022, and the November, that seems like one trip. So that's like almost a $8,000 trip. Because it's a cruise. I'm assuming it's a cruise to the Bahamas, and they went to Aruba. Mm-hmm. So it's a one continuous trip, and that's the price for both the cruise.
And let's also just point out that's not including travel. So they had to get to Miami to sail on the ship to the Bahamas, and then they go to Aruba. And if I'm understanding correctly, they flew back from Aruba. They didn't take the ship back. I don't even know how they did that because most of the time they don't do those. Royal Caribbean doesn't do trips like that. But like, why are we arguing about this? Like, yo, it's wrong. It's wrong. And that's the thing. I think Senator Jones really sacrificed his own integrity in order to defend this.
And the Aruba. Then you have the next month, you're on a cruise again. to the Bahamas. And then in March, so you're talking about six trips, or actually it looks like maybe 5 trips. And what, 3 months she's almost taking a trip a month. So I don't understand what this guy's talking about. He's like,
Facts.
yeah, these people are taking a lot of trips. And if the argument is that they paid what the average cost of a vacation is, so what? It's still $17,000. Yeah, just imagine if my boss paid for all my luxury vacations. Yeah, give me the regular balcony from the average price. That's still a benefit. So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to make it seem like this is nothing. But let's hear him out.
His point.
Well, I mean, Royal Caribbean, I specifically kept out the money that he spent on his mom's cabin. So they had 2 cabins. His mom had a cabin. They had an oceanfront balcony. For the Bahamas, I think oceanfront balcony is probably, upper middle, but I don't know that it matters. Flew, comfort class, not unnormal for a lawyer.
You know what maybe the average American spends on vacation?
This man, he literally asked, what's the average? The nose blindness of the elite is just completely staggering. That you would honestly be sitting here arguing, because mind you, these are servants of the community. They're supposed to be working for the people of Fulton County. They don't work for Apple. They don't work for Google or whomever. They work for the people of Fulton County, and they're taking that money, receiving that money, and supposed to be doing the work of the people. And he's honestly trying to argue that spending $8,000 on 2 cruises in a month, is that really a big deal? Is that a big deal?
Not this much.
You don't think?
No.
Have you looked?
Huh? No, I haven't, but I would imagine most of the Fulton County taxpayers would love to go on any of these trips.
Well,
Yeah, of course. Average
Since you
American.
speculate a lot, I could speculate and say that you did look, and that's why you didn't put it in your brief.
I did
Because
not.
Forbes actually says that the average is about $3,700 that a person spends on a vacation.
For a single
Why does it
person,
matter,
a
though?
family?
Family of
person?
4. Well, at that time, they were taking 2 and 3.
So hold on, you talking about a family of 4? 3,700?
I'm going to tell you right now, that's a whole bold-faced lie. I'm telling you right now, there's no way you're going on a cruise with 2 children for $3,700. I'm just telling you right now, it's not happening. Jones completely cratered any credibility that he could have in this discussion. Mr. Jones.
These are only 2 people. They're spending more than that on some of these vacations. But yeah, a family of 4. But what does that even matter? I don't know. Let me look that up. So here's what I think he's talking about. It says here the average cost of a 3-day vacation. So some of these vacations were even more than 3 days, or 7 days, as we saw. So we're talking about for every 3 days, you're talking about $1,400, $3,600 for a 3-day vacation. We're talking about, and then we're talking about the types of vacation, because this isn't a cruise. This is 3 nights at a mid-range hotel with a car rental and 3 days of restaurant meals. So we're not talking about theme parks and any of that stuff. So, if you have kids, you're going to have to do stuff. This has nothing to do.
Yeah, this number right here, like I said, like that doesn't include food. That's why you go on cruises with kids, because you at least know they're all going to eat and you got a place to stay. This is total, but again, why does it matter? Like, this gentleman really wanted us to get into the tall weeds of cruises rather than the fact that this man and this woman shouldn't have been on one in the first place. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Shout out to all of you in the chat, that are watching this video. I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. If you find value in this, could you hit that like button? And if you don't find value in it, hit the like button 3 times. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a professional.
With them actually doing anything, like, the cost of paying for stuff and all that stuff. Forbes has this, but I don't think this is even relevant. I understand what he's trying to say, right? We all understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to say this is a big nothing burger because they went on vacation. So what? But I would want somebody to pay for my vacation if they, I would love that. That'd be great.
At the time.
That makes
so
sense.
That's about
no.
normal.
Hold on. I want to make sure that's clear. You said they were taking 2 or 3 at a time. All of these, I made very certain that my numbers only included the 2 of them. So the one trip that they took
But
his
it's
mother on,
2 adults.
2 adults, yes.
It's nothing extraordinary.
So you said
do you
$3,700 for a family of 4.
Right.
That does not surprise me. For families that can afford to go on vacations, does not surprise me.
So it's basically what the average American would do.
So
Yes.
this is half of that for 2 people. So you said
The average married couple, married man and woman, like our Lady Dearwold Christian and mine, and honeymoon was on a cruise. So we took that. So that would make sense for Lady Dearwold Christian and Dearwold Christian to go on a cruise because we're married. I'm gonna even say that if it were a single man and a single woman and they were cohabitating, they they did that, that would probably be that would at least make sense. But Nathan Wade is married to his boss. Married and taking his boss on vacation. Why can Mr. Jones not understand that? Nathan Wade wasn't on the market, sir. And technically, he's not on the market now. Even today, March 9th at 6:35 p.m., he's still married to that woman. And you sitting there acting a fool, cratering your integrity for a woman and he ain't gonna get to get a fanny call.
Said 3,700 for a family of 4. This is for 2 people.
Right, it's just 2 people.
Right.
And they're spending as much as a family of 4.
Yes.
So it wouldn't necessarily be habit. It's 2 adults. Bottom line is, it's not extravagant. It's not lavish, is it?
Yes, it
only
is.
says $100. So.
But it's not lavish.
And that's one of the
is.
reasons I didn't include all the Ubers. I quite frankly didn't want to do the math. But
And please understand, and again, I would almost love to know everything that they spent. Because I'm going to go out on a limb. I guarantee you it was well north of $35,000 for everything that they spent. Because Nate was bringing in Nathan Wade was bringing in like $35,000 a year a month. He was probably burning an entire month's salary just whining and dining this woman. I guarantee you. Because this is not including Texas. This is not including trips to Florida, not including trips to Tennessee, just zipping around town. Man, that guy sold his whole integrity.
there were a ton of Ubers on each of these trips. There was a
Yes.
hotel at the beginning of the Royal Bahamas. I didn't include that. I didn't want to do
Now, one thing that she said that kind of went pretty fast is that the law says it's only $100. And that's true. The law says it only has to be $100. So
It's over.
if it's $20,000 or $2,000, the law
It's
says
over.
anything over $100.
That's it.
We're at $17,000. We're at $17,000.
the math, and I also
the
did
low
not
end.
want
And
to
how much does Ms. Willis make?
200 and something thousand a year.
And so your
It's in my brief.
argument is that a person who makes $200,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
is actually setting up prosecutions to go on a trip that costs $3,500. That's your argument.
Not one trip. We're saying that the person who sits up is probably taking, 10% of her salary she's getting from her boyfriend through a kickback. Yes, $20,000 plus. Yes, that's the argument. The argument is, look at all this money that she's getting as a kickback from hiring her boyfriend who has no experience doing the prosecution. That's the conflict. Not for no one $3,700 trip. If there was only one, then you're making that argument. There's many here. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
No, not in isolation. I mean, you're talking about in isolation.
No,
That
I'm
in
not talking about in isolation. I'm talking about what's in briefs. I don't know what else you may be speculating about. I'm just talking about what's in briefs that says this is the benefit that she got. And
You do realize the issue is not, you do realize that he has conceded that they were having an extramarital affair, that they were in adultery. He's already conceded that. So what else do we need to say, Senator Jones? My name is Jason. I live in Cobb County. I would love to talk to this man because I don't think that he thought about what he was doing. He has to push back. He has to say something. He can't just let the Republicans run over his team. So he's got to come in there with something. But what he's saying here is intellectually, dare I say, morally dishonest. Because he already knows the problem is not that they spent $3,500 on a cruise. That's not the problem. We would probably still be having this conversation if they spent $500 at Buc-ee's going to Tennessee, driving in his car. We would still be having the same conversation. Fannie Willis hired her boyfriend. Her boyfriend got paid a lot of money, and he was taking her on trips. He was giving her gifts in the form of trips and travel, and therein is the problem. The fact that you would crater your character, because again, I'm not arguing whether or not the case that they're ultimately trying to get to is right or wrong, but you're not making it look like you're an intellectually honest man, that you want this thing to be fair and honest. You would literally bend over backwards doing mental gymnastics and lyrical Taekwondo in order to justify Fannie Willis hired her boyfriend, paid him an exorbitant amount of money, and he took her on trips. Because he would not be saying this if the tables were flipped. If it was a Republican that had done this and it was a white man that was taking a black woman, fill in the blanks, he would be having a field day. If he was the man that was able to be asking the questions of that person, or if the Democrats were in control, they probably wouldn't even have the Senate hearing. He has zero character. He has no character at all. And he's bald. Man, come on, man. Bald brothers got to work together, man. We got to do right, man. Bald brothers hit that like button too, man. So if you like this video, please go ahead and like it. If you don't have hair, hit the like button. If you have hair, hit the like button 3 times. Grace and peace.
And all I'm saying is that I got a person who's making $200,000, and the benefit that you're putting into the briefs, not what you may say that you may find elsewhere, but the benefit in the briefs is I go on a trip for $3,300, $4,400.
Adding up to $20,000.
And they have made up all these prosecutions to go on a 3-day.
Well, hold on. No one said they made up all these prosecutions to just go on this trip, right? It's about the appearance of impropriety. But even without that, his argument is that if you could take the trips and isolate them each one, so one trip for $2,500, we're saying that she did it just for that one trip, but that's not the argument at all. The argument is that we have about $20,000 of trips given to someone making $200,000 a year. Now, if they were, let's say if this was $20,000 in cash, it would be, it's obvious, right? But this isn't. Instead of paying cash, they've paid in the form of luxurious trips. That's the issue. So, and as you can see, it's really dishonest the way he's doing it, but I understand because, it's a political game. But he's trying to say, do you really think someone who's making $200,000 a year is going to do this for $2,000? No, I would.
Yes, because we're greedy. This man can't be a dad, okay? He can't be a dad and have had a toddler. Because if you lay out as many cookies as a toddler can hold in his or her hand, they are going to get as many cookies, shove them in their mouth, put them in their pockets, put them in the back of their hoodie. They're going to try to get every cookie possible, even though they don't need it. Even though they don't need it, they will still attempt to do that. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So because she makes $200,000 a year is actually erroneous to the point. That is not the argument that's being made. Because if she made would it be okay if she made $20,000 a year? No, it would still be wrong. This is just foolishness.
Say no, but for $20,000, yeah, $30,000, yeah. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about somebody who's 10% of that person's salary, which is a lot of money. Just imagine if someone offered you $20,000 in trips. You go cruise wherever, $20,000-$30,000. But I can't pay you in cash. I'm going to pay you in luxurious trips to wherever you want to go.
I got my
Yeah,
passport,
that's a benefit.
Day cruise for $3,300. That's your argument. If that's your argument, that's your argument.
That's not.
That's in the brief.
It's not the argument.
And that's not our argument. So,
Yeah.
We did
What else
argue
is
for
in the
about
brief?
3 hours.
What else is in the brief?
What else is in the brief?
Yes.
A lot of facts, a lot of law.
No, as far as actual financial benefit.
So the financial benefit that I put in the brief was what I could prove. I did not want to have any, as you call it, speculation. I did not want to speculate about anything else. So I did not know if Mr. Wade paid for an Uber that Miss Willis was literally sitting in at the same time. You can kind of assume because it's from the airport to the hotel, but I did not want to speculate to that. So I didn't include those in the numbers. So the hard numbers in here are all of these numbers that are
That's
on
what's
trips.
in the brief.
Yes, the ones that I actually had hard numbers that I knew that she had. Yes, that's in the brief.
In our business, we deal with proof, and so that's the proof that we have.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
That person
Yes.
And that's what
is
she's
doing all of this for that.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I
and
understand.
so what I
$20,000 in
included was
benefits
what I
at
had
a
the
minimum.
actual hard proof of,
At a minimum.
and then some of it's attached to the brief. Some of it I got by subpoena. So some of it is actually exhibits that were admitted. I think I submitted to you all the certified business records from a couple different travel agencies. Those are actually admitted, and there were a lot of other receipts that I had that I did not know for sure if they were joined, and so I didn't include those.
Now, one thing I do love is the effort, right? The effort in trying to say, well, this is nothing. This is just, the effort is, but just imagine how morally compromised you have to be to
Yes,
make
come
that
on.
argument that this guy's making. Oh, you're saying that she's like, no, we're not saying that. We're not saying that at all, right? You have all the documents, you have all the receipts, you have all the proof. And I would say take the Democrat from her name. And if I told you a prosecutor was prosecuting cases and getting $17,000 in luxury gifts as a kickback from one of the people they hired, you would say, turn it from prosecutor to garbage man, right? In the sanitation department. Like this is, it's obvious we have an issue here, but she handled it. She's like, the documents are here, and that's one great thing about when you have the facts on your side. You just make sure they argue with the facts. They're not arguing with you; they're arguing with the facts at the time, and facts always win arguments. But let me know what you think. How you think Ashley held up under question it, and the next one we're going to look at the phone records and to see exactly what the phone records say. So that's going to be an interesting one. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to all the great YouTube stuff, man.
All right. Thanks so much, Nate. All right. So I'll maybe we'll do that one tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the phone record one tomorrow. But okay, real quick, because I'm learning a lot. I'm so excited about this simply because I'm learning so much. Somebody asked right here, isn't there a conflict of interest because he's running against Fannie? No, he's not. He's a judge. Fannie Willis is a DA. So Fannie Willis is running for DA, and Judge McAfee will be running for, I think, Superior Court judge. And so they are running in two different fields. They're not the same at all. So now they both have, by the way, that was a great question, because I was going to bring up the fact that they both now have contenders in that race. Before, that race had nobody in it, and both of them were running solo. But yesterday, I think was the cutoff. Both of them had, I think, two. Let's bring it in. Let's talk about it. I think that they both have two contenders, one Republican and one Democrat. I think one is a Democrat, one's an independent. But let's see.
And new tonight, District Attorney Fannie Willis now has two people running to take her seat. Democrat Christian Y. Smith and Republican Courtney Kramer just qualified to run for the office today. You may remember Christian Y. Smith ran against DA Willis 4 years ago and actually worked with her under former DA Paul Howard. And as of tonight, he has not officially decided whether he will launch his campaign. Courtney Kramer is an attorney who specializes in constitutional, political, and election law. She is the first Republican to run for the DA's office in more than 2 decades. Now, the primary for the DA's race, and other government seats will be held in May. And of course, the general election is coming up in November.
All right. So yeah, so Fannie, and I think there's
Last question, and that was, in the case that you cited, it clearly said.
Sorry about that. I think there's one person running against Mr. Judge McAfee as well, but I'll look and see. I did not pull that one up, but that was yeah, that was it. So what did y'all think? Tell me what you think. All right. If you don't mind, we'll do a poll by emoji, if you don't mind. Give me a trash can if you think so far that Judge McAfee is going to throw Fannie out. Give me a trash can, and give me a heart emoji if you think he's going to keep them. He's going to keep Fannie and Nathan. It's going to be a giant nothing burger. Nothing's going to change. So I want a trash can if you think he's going to throw them out, and a heart if you think he's going to keep them. And I need to do the same thing. I'm going to give my 2 cents. All right, let me get my own. All right, mine. I didn't have it open. I had it open earlier and then I closed it. So what do you think? Trash can, or is he gonna keep them? What do you think? There's no right or wrong answer. Just need an answer nonetheless. I did not have this ready. I should have done so. Man, some of y'all, I don't know where y'all getting some of these great emojis from. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna violate my own rule. Okay. All right, so it looks like most people are think that he's going to throw him out. Okay, take him out. All right, I could put a football because I couldn't find a garbage can, so I would kick him out. Okay, Yolanda. Okay, no problem there. And what's going on, Neva? Good to see you. Grace and peace. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us this evening. By the way, thank you all. I do appreciate and respect all of your time. So thank y'all so much. He punting them out. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Brianne. I couldn't find the garbage can fast enough. He's punting them out of there. Absolutely. All right. All right. So I have a video here, and this gentleman, Danette D'Souza, is going to give two reasons, or a reason why he feels that Judge McAfee is going to kick Fannie and Nate out. Then he's going to give a reason why he thinks they're not. I thought it was really interesting. So I want to bring it in, and this is not to sway any of your thoughts.
While it seems like there is a good deal.
All right, bring myself in. All right, I thought it was actually pretty interesting. Again, not trying to sway anybody at all, but so I'll let you be on the fence. Peace, baby. I'll let you be on the fence. Hey, because at the end of the day, we're all just speculating. And like I said before, on multiple occasions, I'm learning a ton from watching this, interacting with you all. You know, like for example, let me also clarify something. I thought that the Senate hearing that we saw just a snippet of was going to be punitive, that they were going to be able to come down with some law on Fannie and Nathan and Terrence and so on and so forth. And I was wrong about that. So again, somebody pointed it out to me. I do want to make sure I acknowledge. I don't remember who it was that said it but I was wrong. So this is just literally just an investigation to see if the laws here in Georgia need to be fine-tuned, if there's something about the way that we conduct business here in the state of Georgia, if it needs to be augmented. So that's really all that is. So this hearing, when they get down to it, maybe they're gonna maybe rewrite the law and say that you can't get benefits up to $100, and it includes, and you might see cruises on there or Ubers on there, whatever like that. So that's all that hearing really is for, is to really fine tune the law so that we can be a more fair. And so that's really it. Okay. Thanks for the thumbs down. I appreciate it. But if you hit the thumbs up button 3 times, it really works magic. I promise you. All right, let's hear this.
Of evidence to disqualify Fannie Willis, we should also strike a cautionary note, actually 2 cautionary notes. One of them is that the criteria for disqualification is a little vague. It's not obvious what bar you have to meet exactly in order to be disqualified. Now, there is some case law on it, and there are cases where you have attorneys representing the district attorney's office have been disqualified based upon not just an actual conflict of interest, not just actual corruption, but in some cases even perceived corruption, perceived conflicts of interest. And if those cases provide a reliable standard, then Fannie Willis is going to get the boot. But the law itself does not specify a 2-part or 3-part test that you have to meet in order to be disqualified. So the judge has a fair bit of discretion. Now,
so and I agree. I think that's going to be something that maybe comes out of those investigations and those hearings, is maybe being a little bit more clear on perceived indiscretion. I think most of us, it seems like just following the chat, think that this would not fly. And they don't like the legal wrangling and the trying to be weaselly about, words and so on and so forth. But, that's the law. So maybe the law might be explained a little bit more so that this won't be the problem. This won't be another issue later on down the road. So let us continue. Hey, that's me. Doing like this.
we know that this judge has given a contribution, a small one, to Fannie Willis in the past. And a new development is that there is apparently a left-winger, a Jesse Jackson protege, a Jesse Jackson disciple, who is now challenging the judge for his re-election. And I think that this is going to going to play a role in this decision. Let's think about why. The judge previously, this is Judge McAfee, was running unopposed. But now you have another guy who's thrown his hat, so to speak, in the ring. And the judge is going to think, oh, wow, I am now facing a challenger who is clearly from my left, who is on the left, and who's going to say to people, this is the judge that got rid of our beloved Fani Willis. So the question is, will that influence the judge and make him more reluctant to disqualify her because he now has a challenger? Now, of course, to say this is to acknowledge that our courts are not the sort of pure systems of justice that we expect them to be, want them to be, sometimes envision them to be. They're affected and sometimes contaminated by these kinds of motives.
And I agree. I think now that he has a challenger as it relates to running for Superior Court judge, that might change the whole complexity of the game. The whole game might have been changed by that. And that's very interesting. I hope that it doesn't come down to that. But, hey, now he's like, look, these people are going to try to throw me out of here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end on a good note. Or these people are going to try to throw me out here and let me try to keep her so I can keep my position. I don't know, man. I hate it like that. I hate that that's probably how people vision it. Well, definitely here in Atlanta, that's how people envisioned it, last week when I think Wednesday, Fani had qualified and Judge McAfee had qualified to run unopposed. And they were everybody was kind of like, oh, fingers crossed that they'll make it through Thursday. And I think Thursday, somebody popped up for McAfee, and it was hints that somebody was running against Fani. But then Friday, everything came undone, and now they're truly going to have to run for office, which I think is good. But I hope it doesn't play a role. I hope it doesn't impact his decision making as it relates to this case. Just judge whatever you feel is right. Don't open the case back up for more evidence. Just judge what you think is right. Let the chips fall where they may, and move forward. That's my hope. All right. So the other day I did that video on the attorney that is Jocelyn Wade's attorney. And I apologize. I did not do my due diligence. And I just found the video. And lo and behold, I popped in there and did it. But people were asking me like, well, what's her name? I didn't know. So I had to do a little bit more research. I found a much better article kind of explaining it. And let's just go through it real quick. Attorney for Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade's estranged wife discusses divorce case. In her first sit-down interview, Andrea Hastings, attorney for Jocelyn Wade, spoke to 11 Alive. And this is the young lady that we were looking at the other day. She had the big scorpion, the big scorpion brooch on. And we were like, what in the world's going on with that brooch? But really interesting really interesting interview. And so let's check it out. Let's go. The attorney representing the estranged wife of Trump Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade gave her first sit-down interview with 11 Alive Wednesday afternoon. Andrea Hastings, who represents Jocelyn Wade, described the headline-grabbing divorce proceedings against the man tapped by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Wade to help lead the ongoing prosecution of former President Donald Trump and 14 others for alleged election interference. All right, let us go. There we go. The Cobb County divorce case became embroiled in controversy, and some reason or another it's not getting large there. In controversy surrounding the election trial after Trump. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you all to read it. There we go. Sorry about that. That's so much better. All right. After Trump's co-defendant alleged that Nathan Wade and Willis were engaged in an improper romantic relationship and misused taxpayer funds. To me, I don't even understand why we're having that debate. That seems to be pretty straightforward. You would say that if it were any other organization, any other entity, you would be saying that, Jason, you shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. you would be saying that this was wrong, this was inappropriate. You would be saying that pretty quickly. Why in the world are we having a debate about whether or not that is the right thing to do? And I'm looking at you, Senator Jones. Let's continue. Hastings told 11 Alive that she did not coordinate her findings with the efforts to disqualify Willis from the racketeering case. Similar legal maneuvers were made on the same day in both cases earlier this month. So, and she said that in the interview that she and Ashley Merchant were not working together, that they had not put together some kind of coordinated attack or anything like that. But let us continue. Trump co-defendant Mike Roman filed a motion on January 8th seeking to disqualify Willis and Wade from the criminal case, alleging that she was engaged in a personal romantic relationship with Wade that financially benefited the pair. The fact that we have to argue about that, they've already admitted that they were doing fanny calls. They already admitted that they've gone on trips and travels and such of that nature. Why are we still arguing that? I mean, now whether or not they should be disqualified, I think you can go ahead and have that debate. But whether or not they were having a relationship and whether or not there was being a financial benefit to them is beyond argument. Like, to me, that's not the argument. On the same day, court records show Hastings issued a subpoena to Willis to testify in the Wade's divorce case. We're not connected with the other case, she said. We are seeking similar information about the same people, but for different purposes. And it's important to me that people understand that. All right. And this is Miss Hastings right here. Let me put myself out of the way. This is Miss Hastings right here. And there goes that giant brooch right there. I have no idea what that brooch means. I had some people say that the scorpion represents power and it's an attorney thing. I had somebody say that she's a Scorpio. I thought that was the best. Hey, I have no idea why she has it there, but let me tell you, that thing right there made me laugh because all of your answers were the best. I'm just sorry. They were fantastic. I have no idea, and I really don't care. All I know is that you all came up with some of the best reasons for that big old scorpion brooch right there. Hastings said that she issued her subpoena after receiving information from an open records request and Wade himself. We didn't know about a potential romantic relationship between Nathan Wade and Fannie Willis until immediately before Christmas. That kind of makes sense because that's when they went on that cruise, around the time they went on that cruise, said Hastings. When we came back after the first of the year, we prepared and issued the subpoena. So they went on that cruise, then they went to Aruba, and then they went on another cruise, the Norwegian cruise. So they were sloppy. They were really messy. So when asked what proof she had to support these allegations that Wade and Willis are romantically linked, Hastings said she wouldn't be making the argument if she didn't believe she had the evidence to back it up. I have documentary evidence that suggests that to me that they absolutely are engaged in a romantic relationship and wouldn't be pursuing this line of questioning, this avenue of investigation, if I wasn't reasonably certain of that fact, said Hastings. They already admitted it. I don't know what else we need to say. They've already said it. You're right. I did call her the Scorpion Queen. You're right. I forgot. Hastings is the Scorpion Queen. Absolutely. Like, they've already come clean about the fact that they are in a relationship. So what else is there needed? What else needs to be done? What else needs to be said besides that?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's keep going. Let's go. Among the evidence, Hastings pointed to credit card statements. And this is why I think I do believe that they gave Ashley Merchant these credit card statements, but maybe they did subpoena them from Capital One. I don't know. Issued in one of her earlier court filings, purports to show Wade paid for airline tickets to Miami and San Francisco for himself and Willis. Keep in mind also, when you go back and look at the ruling, the investigation with Ashley Merchant, she didn't have Miami on there, unless this is a trip. They were flying to Miami to get on the cruise ship. But again, same thing with San Francisco. So there's a lot of money that was being spent. Like I said, if it was $35,000 plus, I would not be surprised. Between 2022 and 2023, Wade also paid for hotels and cruises around the same time, but it is unclear if Willis was with him. So far, it has not been immediately confirmed that the trips were for personal or and not business related activities. Okay, here we go right here. All right, so I want you to please tell me in the chat, what is a business for your business, whatever you do for your business, what is a business related reason that you're going to take a cruise? I would love to know. Can you please let me know what is a business related reason that you would be going on a cruise? So let me write my reason right here, and I'm going to just label it reason. There we go. All right, so I just gave my reason. This is my reason why I would need to go on a cruise. I need to check out the Wi-Fi on the ship for live streaming. Test sonar device. I love it. Come on, Lacey Ann, you gotta give me a reason. You gotta give me a reason. And you also gotta make sure you hit the like button. So after you give me your reason, make sure you hit the like button. An ocean survey team. I love it. I love it. There you go. Team morale. There you go. Stay at home mom. You got to build your team morale. I love it. All right, let's see. To get closer to my employee, wink, wink. Well, actually, he was going to get closer to his employer. So, we got that as well. So employer, employee, whatever. If I come up with one, I'll be sure to mention it to my boss. I love it. As a DA, there's zero business reason. That's the part I'm trying to understand. Like, how are you arguing this? To celebrate our top performers. I see what you did there. There's an Alaska cruise that hosts a quiet retreat with classes. There we go. There you go. Team building exercise. I love it. Quilting services. Meeting with the White House officials off grounds. Well, there you go. Actually, it'd be off ground literally. It'd be at sea. Smuggling cash. Hey, we don't know that. I cannot confirm nor deny that. I cannot. Let us get these people finished. Let's go. All right. Recently, unsealed documents in the divorce case reviewed by 11 Alive showed no further proof of an alleged romance. Now, this is interesting because, and you might have heard this in the beginning, divorce documents are very rarely ever sealed. And so, like, when this whole thing hit the fan, it was really weird that his divorce decrees have been sealed. So I guess they unsealed them now. So maybe I'll go get them or something. I mean, I literally live down the street from City Hall. Hastings told 11 Alive she's pursuing information that could shed more light on the nature of the relationship between Willis and Nathan Wade because it could play an important role in the ongoing divorce case. Adultery is not only grounds for divorce in Georgia, it also is a factor for the judge to consider on the court, the court to consider in equability dividing assets, Hastings said. They've already admitted that, though. They've already admitted this. They've already admitted that they've been doing fanny calls. So therefore, that's already done. Like, she should be able to sue for half of whatever it is or some kind of reasonable support. Wade has not responded to multiple requests for comment about these allegations through a spokesman. Willis said she'd only be responding through court filings of her own, which, by the way, she's admitted that they're having an affair. She's admitted to the adultery. So I don't understand what else needs to be said or done. I mean, you even remember when Nathan was on the stand during the initial trial, the initial hearing, trying to finesse what he meant by the marriage was broken, so on and so forth. He was coming up with his own weaselly lawyer speak. My goodness, in the morning. On Wednesday, Hastings said Willis's response is a threat. If we proceed with this deposition, that we could be prosecuted criminally for it, Hastings said. That's how I took it. And yet, Fannie did, in fact, do that. So that's not hearsay or circumstance. I hate that thing. I wish it would go away. Let's put it right here. There we go. Put me right there. All right. Willis may not be deposed in the case at all. Did I miss something? I did miss something. Sorry about that. Hastings sought to have Willis testify about the alleged romance under oath, but Cobb County Superior Court Judge Henry Thompson stayed the subpoena last week. Wow. Can you imagine if she had to come out here to Cobb County? Oh, please, please. I live in Marietta. I live down the street from the courthouse. My studio is a block and a quarter from City Hall. I can take a picture from my front step and you can see City Hall. That would be, Superior Court. That would be crazy. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. Please change your mind, please. Willis may not be deposed in the case at all. In last week's ruling, Thompson said he wanted to hear from Nathan Wade on January 31st. I'm sorry, at a January 31st court hearing. Wait, but that's already done. That's got to be the wrong date. Court hearing before deciding if he needed to hear from Willis. However, the Wades reached a temporary agreement before the scheduled hearing. Oh, that's what. Okay, hearing that settled issues around the attorney's fees and alimony. The hearing was canceled. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. All right. So he was going to have to go to court on January 31st, but they met a temporary agreement but they're still married, mind you, and they canceled the hearing. Okay, gotcha. The case is ongoing and the attorneys for Nathan Wade seek to have records of the case sealed again. Nathan Wade filed for divorce from Jocelyn Wade on November 2nd, 2021. One day after being named the lead special prosecutor in the developing election investigation. And here's the video. I'm not going to play it right now, but I did do that video earlier. And so you can check it out. Check it out. And then also make sure you hit the like button. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office has until February 2nd to file a written response to Roman's motion to disqualify. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee said at February 15th hearing on the motion to disqualify. Trump and co-defendant Bob Cheeley have adopted Roman's motion to disqualify. All right. And here's the full video, and I'll leave the link. I'll put the link in the description right now, in the video right now. I'll put the link in the video, only if you make sure you hit that like button. And if you don't like the video, hit the like button 3 times. I promise you it works. Trust me, it does. All right. So here's the full video. You can check it out, but please make sure you hit the like button before you check the video out. And if you don't like it, hit that like button 3 times. I tell you it works. Trust me. I'm a professional. All right. That was it. Y'all, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. And this week has been wild. So this week coming up, hopefully, I thought the judge was going to come back on Wednesday. So I've already been proven wrong. So I'm going to go out on another prediction. I'm going to go with this coming Wednesday. He's going to make his ruling known. It's going to mess up the rest of the week. Thursday and Friday are going to be crazy. Going into next weekend is going to be super bananas, but it's just going to be done. He's going to be finished, whether it be appeals, whether it be rebuttals, whatever. But I don't think he's going to open up the case for more evidence. I don't think he's going to return to hear more evidence because we've heard tons of evidence since the initial case closed. So I don't think we're going to hear more evidence. But I do just want to say that's what I think. One more thing before we get too far afield. If you're interested in supporting the channel and you don't want to support me on YouTube and become a member on YouTube, that's perfectly fine. You can just buy me a coffee. So this is my Buy Me a Coffee page. Link is in the description as well as in the chat. And this is a great way to support the channel. You can become a member here. You'll get all the same benefits that my YouTube members get. And if you're skittish and you don't want to support via YouTube for whatever reason, you can do it right here. Just want to let you know that. I really do appreciate it. And I will be, even if you don't support me on Buy Me a Coffee, I will be posting the link for our Critical Race Theory Bingo game that we're going to be playing at the end of the month. I will be posting it here so you'll know beforehand. but that's where you'll get your bingo card from. I'm working on it. I was literally working on it before I went live today. So I'll make sure it's ready, make sure we have a good time, and hopefully we can play it in real time so we can actually see each other's bingo boards. That's the goal of being able to play Critical Race Theory Bingo. That was a small commercial, so thank you so much. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right. So this week, I really do think that it's going to be crazy. So down in the chat, if you could tell me, when do you think Judge McAfee will actually decide and make a decision? What day do you think he will? I'm ready to go. Let me know what you think. I think it's going to be Wednesday. And what date is that? Wednesday the 15th? No, can't be the 15th. Oh, don't forget daylight savings time is tonight too, by the way. Spring forward. Why are you talking about how tall somebody is? All right, so I'm going with Wednesday. I think Wednesday we're going to find out. Like I said, it's going to be a dust up for Thursday and Friday. All right, somebody's saying Thursday. Okay, somebody's saying Friday. Friday is probably definitely safe. It definitely is a safe answer. He may be in hiding. I don't think so. I don't think so. Living here in Atlanta, just going with my general, wet finger in the air, non-scientific surveys, a lot of people just want this over with. They're not mad at Judge McAfee that I've heard. They're not angry at Judge McAfee. They just want it over with because they realize that it's making Atlanta look bad. And we all know that Atlanta must be stopped. All right. So I see lots of Fridays in here. To hide it in the news. Yeah. I agree with you, man. You're probably right. Oh, come on. No, Dwight. No, I rebuke that. Oh, man, I'm not even Pentecostal. I rebuke that. No, I'm about to kick you out of here, man. No way. Friday. Now, I definitely, no one a chance to comment much on the weekday to confront him at the court. Yeah, I agree. No, I don't want no more proffers. No more. I don't even know what a proffer is, but no more of them. Okay, I don't know what they are, but no more proffers. By the way, I'm in Australia. Get out of here. So I stayed up watching the trials about 2 a.m. Plenty of popcorn ready. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, Peace Baby. Thank you so much for stopping by from the land down under. See, that's another reason why I think Atlanta just wants to get this out of the way. That's why I think they're going to kick Fannie out. They're going to kick Nathan out. They don't want anything because Fannie and Nathan are going to be the face of the Trump trial. So let's just say that they still go forward with the Trump trial. And let's say they move it to Cobb County, they move it to Gwinnett County or Athens or wherever. They don't want Fannie and Nathan's face aligned with that because it's not going to look good. The optics are going to be, oh my gosh. Yeah. I agree. Just get it over with. Again, I don't care, but I don't think that they're going to keep them on for that reason because they clearly have shown that they're not neutral. They've clearly shown that they're willing to lie to cover for themselves. So would you lie for anything else though? Oh, it's going to be bad. No, I really hope that they don't at all. That they don't go to extra innings. They don't go into the championship rounds. That he just decide. I'll even let him decide on Friday, but just decide on Friday and be done with it. Kick them out and then let the dust clear over the weekend and move this game forward because they're going to be the face of that trial. And there's no way you're not going to be able to, anytime they walk together, anytime they're standing and talking at a press conference or anything like that, it's always going to be Nathan Wade and his adulterous, fornicating side chick, Fannie Willis, or Fannie Willis and her boy toy, Nathan. I mean, it's going to always be, it'll never stop. Get them out of here. I just don't think that it definitely is going to add a level of complexity to something that's already going to be super complex. All right. When you vote for a clown, you get a circus of clowns. There you go. That is true. We in the United States have learned this lesson. I'm sorry, have not learned this lesson. We haven't learned this. They've shown that they have no integrity in the personal or professional relationships and dealings. I mean, and he's still married. Come on, Brianne Hill. And he's still married. So that's going to be an open wound for his kids, salt in the wound for for his wife. By the way, y'all do know that Fannie Willis is divorced, right? I wonder what happened to her ex-husband. He doesn't have to get drugged into this. I just wonder if he's like, whew, I beat a bullet. I dodged a bullet. She's been divorced for like 10 years. And he does not need to get drugged into this. He does not have to be a witness or anything of that nature. I just thought it was interesting. Like, yo, I bet you he is not mad about the fact that he got out of this. Neva said she came in hot because she was hearing, because the hearing continued. So she took the stand and messed it up. Yeah, she would. A lot of this wouldn't have been happening had she not taken the stand. If she hadn't taken the stand, well, let's just back it up. If she hadn't just hired her boyfriend, that would have been the end of it. But that goes beyond the point. Yes, Biden is here in Georgia, and so is Trump. Trump is in Rome, Georgia, which is extremely far from me, and Biden was somewhere downtown. Pretty fun that they are both here at the same time. That's wild. She says, I thought it was like 10 years ago, but I mean, could be. Hear me. Let me tell you right now. I am learning this thing as I'm flying. I'm learning as I'm flying the plane, okay? I wonder if Fanny's husband would say that she paid for everything in cash. No, I don't want to. You know what? That poor guy is probably somewhere like trying to be as quiet as possible. So you know what? I'm gonna let him go and let it. I'm not gonna even bother him. But I do think he probably is glad. All right. Or I don't think she could have hired her boyfriend. Again, like there was no reason to. That's the part that, and we've talked about it. There are situations where you can get a special prosecutor from another state even. I mean, she did not have to hire Nathan Wade. She chose to hire Nathan Wade. And she wanted to be sneaky about it. What they call it, the sneaky link. She wanted her sneaky link to get paid twice as much as her and take her on cruises, which I find that very interesting. Very few people are mentioning the fact that she paid Nathan Wade way more than any other attorney. I'm waiting for the equal pay lawsuits to come out. That's another reason why I think they're going to get her out of there, because there's so many lawsuits that are going to happen. They're going to come out of the woodwork from, hostile work environments. There are going to be so many problems if she stays on this case and, dare I say, stay in the role of DA. It's only going to be problematic. And that's what any smart person running against her is going to be able to point that out. Like, just like she did to Paul Howard. Paul Howard was her successor, and he had some dirt on him. As far as I know, he didn't sound like a good guy, but she used that same point. Like, hey, we deserve a DA that won't sleep with his employees. Yikes. And then she does this. What did you say here? Watch YouTube. At the church, Fanny tells a story of her oldest daughter being at her house on Christmas Eve and the house being surrounded by cops after a report of someone shooting a woman. Wow. In court, she was asked if she could state the specific time when one of her kids stayed at the house, and she said that she didn't remember at a specific time. I mean, Fanny is a walking contradiction. Same thing with Nate. Same thing with Terrence. You're engaged in a sinful behavior and sinful actions, and that stuff came out to catch you in spades. And she's not going to change. She's not going to apologize. She's not going to repent. She's not going to, because she doesn't think that she deserves, that she should have to. I'm in Stone Mountain, Ariel says. I didn't know Trump and Biden were here. I love this channel. I'm new. Well, welcome. Thank you so much. According to Fani Willis, Wikipedia page, she divorced in 2005. Take that for what it's worth. Yeah. And I know that man, whatever, he's probably very happy that he beat a bullet. That's all I'm going to say. Because he would be drugged through this just like poor Jocelyn Wade is being drugged through this. And that would be crazy. Just like her dad got drugged into this. And again, good, bad, or indifferent, other people are suffering because of their sinful actions, and they will not say, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That was inappropriate, blah, blah, blah. But I also think if she acknowledges that she's wrong, there will be some financial blowback, AKA I hired somebody and paid him 3 times as much as the person under him. So there's going to be that problem. There's going to be that lawsuit. A hostile work environment, like I said before. Yeah, I think that's probably why she won't acknowledge it, because there's going to be a lot of pushback. Lots of pushback. So I think it's going to be wild. But if you don't mind, my good people, I want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Hopefully you all see that I'm finding this story to be super insightful, and hopefully you all are finding some value in it as well, to the point that you even go up and hit that like button if you didn't already hit it, and hit it 3 times if you don't like me. I appreciate it either way. If you want, I'll probably, well, usually on Sunday for my new people, on Sundays I usually do what's called the Weekend Woke, a weekend wrap up, kind of talk about what, I can't believe I just saw this. David Dunlap comes in with a comment from on high. That is comedy gold right there, sir. That is well placed. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat, Ariel. Appreciate you. Grace and peace. Thank you. I really do appreciate y'all. So I usually do what's called the Weekend Woke on Sundays. And we just kind of talk about what happened during the week. And this is kind of sort of the Weekend Woke, because I was really holding out that tomorrow was being some kind of bombshell, whatever, like a surprise that none of us saw coming, and that tomorrow's show would be like wild. So we might do a show tomorrow, just a regular Weekend Woke, or hopefully it'll be something surprise come out of the woodwork that we did not see coming. But if you don't mind, I'll probably do another episode tomorrow. Maybe we'll go over the phone call records. Because remember, Fani Willis is challenging that the phone call records and, oh yeah, watch this. And we didn't talk about this. Ashley Merchant plays 4-dimensional chess. She not only used the cell phone data that Fani Willis is using in those RICO charges and those street gang charges here in Atlanta, she used the exact same information, right? She used the exact same data sets and such like that. But watch this. Ashley Merchant also used the same expert to analyze the data. So if Fani Willis says that this guy's data is unreliable or he doesn't know what he's talking about, it's the exact same man that's analyzing data for Fani Willis and that RICO charge and that street gang charge here in the city of Atlanta currently, that's in the process right now. That's 4-dimensional chess right there. That is 4D chess. And I don't even know what 4D chess is, but that's 4-dimensional chess. So Fani is over a barrel now. So she can't discredit the cell phone data. She can't discredit the gentleman that is analyzing the data, because she will discredit her own data, and she discredits her own expert witness. My goodness in the morning. I'm sorry. Ashley Merchant, again, I don't care what the case is out there. What we're watching right here is some high level, grade A, premium soap opera. I mean, this is old school. Was it Days of Your Life? Whatever your grandma was watching when you were sick and had to stay home in elementary school, General Hospital. This is Days of Our Life, The Young and the Restless, mixed in with a whole bunch of MTV reality in real time. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. So keep your eye out. I'll post the thumbnail if I decide to do a live tomorrow. I don't know why I said if I decide to do a live tomorrow. Lord willing, the creek don't rise, I'm gonna probably do a live tomorrow. But I do appreciate you all so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the thumbs down. Thank you for hanging in there for all of these wild comments. I really do appreciate every last one of y'all because you all mean a lot to me. Contact management. Yes, please. With comments, questions, concerns, here, dearwokec@gmail.com. If you don't like my hat or you think that my Morehouse sweatshirt, by the way, premium sweatshirt that my mom made me. I told you I love hoodies, and my mom made me a Morehouse hoodie. I love that girl. If you don't like my hoodie or whatever like that, you think that I'm a terrible person, or you want to fill my cup up with coffee, whatever, email me at dearwokec@gmail.com. I appreciate y'all. Everybody, y'all are the best, the best. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do thank y'all so much for this. So let's do this again real soon, everybody. And I'll talk to you then. Grace and peace.